I'm Chris Murphy. Catherine Heenan is off today. Let's begin with meteorologist Michael Kelting with a look at the weather. Well, I'll tell you, Tom, where the highlights are lowlights. This got ugly at times. Virtually every answer from each candidate was wrapped around an attack on his opponent. On the issues, Angelitas and Wesley were not that far apart. Look, they share the same party. And I'm Chris Murphy, live in Sausalito, where it's another night of bracing for the worst. All this rain has made the hillside behind me unstable, and you can see the result is this debris here in the street, a big tree right on the main drag. It has also made some of the homes uninhabitable. Take a look. This has been red tagged. It says, do not enter, unsafe to occupy. And some of the homes back here are also unsafe. That's why you see the yellow caution tape. Now, some of the homeowners say they have a plan they'll present to the city tomorrow. We're going to have more on that plan in just a minute. But first, we continue our team coverage of the storm with KRON 4's Michelle Kennedy. Exit exams. Thousands of high school students are waiting to hear their fate. Will they, in fact, be able to graduate? We'll have that top story in just a minute. But first, did you hear this? Governor Schwarzenegger discovers just how tough traffic is here in the Bay Area. This morning in Orinda, the governor signed a $20 billion transportation bond that attempts to ease congestion throughout the state. KRON 4's Will Tran reports the governor was actually late to his own news conference. In Susan Polk's murder trial, a forensic pathology expert defended his views that her husband was not killed by Polk, but died of a heart attack. Polk is on trial for the killing of her husband, the therapist Felix Polk, in their Orinda home in October of 2002. KRON 4's Dawn Knapp has been following this trial for us and joins us live today. Dawn, more interesting twists and turns, Dawn. Thank you. All right, meteorologist Michael Kelting looking at our weather today. Another beautiful day out there. Thank you, sir. And still ahead on KRON 4 News at 4. Rob Black in next to tell you about Yahoo's new look. Plus, are you shopping for a personal organizer? We'll show you some of the new technology. And New England underwater. Take a look at this. Heavy rains cause swollen rivers and evacuations. We'll have the latest. Well, their fate's up in the air. Of course, we're talking about high school students and the exit exam. KRON 4's Vicki Liviakis covering this story for us in Oakland. Vicki? Fair enough, Vicki. We'll check back with you. Thank you very much. Rob Black now joins us talking about things not only financial, but high-tech these days.
Merck's also big in the news right now, Murph, because of Vioxx litigation. So this is some good news for Merck.
Yeah, and that can get very expensive, that litigation, with those class action suits.
Billions and billions.
Indeed. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Rob. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. All right. Speaking of technology, searching for something more than a handheld digital organizer or a cell phone. How about a combination? KRON 4's tech reporter Gabriel Slate takes a look at the choices out there right now. Seeing all this blue, this is just beautiful. Michael Kelting coming up next to hopefully tell us that this will stick around for a while. Plus, a dramatic horse rescue from a swollen river in Massachusetts as the rains continue to soak New England. And more rain, speaking of rain in New England today, they didn't need this. Take a look. This is the Powwow River in Massachusetts. The governor there, Mitt Romney, says the dams across the state are expected to hold. That's the good news. But hundreds of evacuees are unable to return to their homes, and many schools, businesses, and roads remain closed. This morning's lane closure slowed traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge. Coming up, George Rass will let us know if the construction will affect the evening commute. It is time for real-time traffic. Let's start in the East Bay at the Bay Bridge. Speaking of bridges, work this morning on the Golden Gate Bridge slowed down traffic. George Rass has a look at whether or not that will affect your evening commute. Should. Beware of that word should. Yes, history will tell us, and we'll let you know coming up this evening. Also ahead, a story of a man's best friend, how a Rottweiler named Buster was able to save a little girl's life. People of Bayview, Western Addition, Visitation Valley all have a long list of needs and wants from the San Francisco Police Department and the mayor's office for that matter. Tonight, on the top of their list is to be heard.
The people, united, will never be defeated.
Taking to the streets, to take back the streets.
We're all under siege here, just like people in Iraq. We live it every day.
About 24 people living in this Sunnydale neighborhood demand more resources and help from the city of San Francisco to fight the rampant violence. You could say one thing to the police, what would you say?
Help us. We need your help, we need your support. And do your job. You're getting paid from the taxpayer, and you're not helping us.
You don't want safer streets, more youth programs, more things for you guys to do other than hang out?
But when this marcher tries to get this group of young people on the corner to join the rally, watch what happens.
Very safe city for kids to be in. I've been here all my life, and it's not about young people having to carry guns to protect themselves. It shouldn't be like that.
It's been going on for more than 20 years.
I know.
It's going to stop.
It's going to stop if a lot of people, if the mayor and a lot of people get together.
The group that organized this rally is called the Association of Community Organizations for Reform Now, or KRON. KRON says they've been trying for months to get the head of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services to attend one of their community meetings. Tonight, the director promised to come. Instead, he sent a representative who refused to address their concerns and our questions.
I'm not answering any questions on the record. If you want to talk to our press office, that's probably the best way to do it.
These people want answers, though, and it just seems like...
That's what I agree.
How do you feel about what just happened?
It was a waste of time and energy.
Look, not only that, it's black crime on black crime, and they don't give a damn.
The city came out, they sent someone...
They came out in what? They came out in what? What did they do? What did they say? Absolutely nothing.
Now, what the representative from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services did say is that another meeting would be scheduled where they would address their concerns. That meeting is scheduled for next month. Reporting live in San Francisco, Chris Murphy, KRON 4 News. Nearly every Bay Area bridge is affected by this. The Richmond, San Rafael, and Dumbarton bridges will each add one fast-track only lane. The Antioch Bridge will keep its one fast-track only lane. And bigger changes for the Benicia, Carquinez, San Mateo, and Bay bridges. They will all add two fast-track only lanes. So for the Bay Bridge, that means the 7 fast-track only lanes will increase to 9. That's nearly half, and they will all be moved over to the left. Also, the toll booths are going to be removed altogether. That means no slowing down to fit through the narrow opening, that cement opening. And you're going to love this. You can zip along at regular highway speeds, and antenna overhead will read the fast-track transponders. Now, this will all happen if and only if the Bay Area Toll Authority approves the plan next month. I'm Chris Murphy, KRON 4 News. You can waste a lot of time getting to the airport and then seeing that your flight's delayed like 4, 5, 6 hours. All right, you go to a restaurant, you order your food. But what is the server doing when you're not looking? Coming up, an investigation into what servers want you to know but don't want you to see. You have to see this. George Rask has another look at the commute as we take a live look at the James Lick. Very slow in and out of San Francisco right now.
Chris?
Van Ness Avenue, too, I got to tell you, in San Francisco, just a
slow.
Parking lot today.
Yeah, slow. All around the city. Very slow.
Yeah, hey, House of Prime Rib on Van Ness Avenue, one of your favorite restaurants, right?
Yes, it is.
Whenever you're there, you're polite, right, to the waiter?
Absolutely.
All right, good, very good.
And to Gus, the maitre d'.
Well, here's the thing. You got to be polite because the waiter, he or she, might just be getting even if you're not polite. What's happening when you're not looking, and what's an easy way to incur the wrath of a wait person? Well, CNN's Jeannie Mose takes a look. The end of trading just couldn't come fast enough for those on Wall Street today. Take a look. The Dow dropping more than 504 points. The market's tumbling on the news. Lehman Brothers filed the biggest bankruptcy in American history, citing debts of more than $600 billion. It was just the beginning of a very bad day.
Too many folks in Washington and on Wall Street weren't minding the store.
Have treated Wall Street like a casino.
Washington has been asleep at the switch.
Republicans and Democrats singing the same song, while investors on Wall Street were singing the blues. The reason on the front page of the morning papers.
Fear. It's a terrible day for the U.S. at the moment.
Investors reeled from the collapse of two of the oldest names on Wall Street. Lehman Brothers, bankrupt. Merrill Lynch, bought out by Bank of America. And this unprecedented warning from the former Fed chief.
We could have a once-in-a-century type of financial crisis.
Dow Jones blue chips took their biggest drop since the 9/11 attacks, 500 points.
Well, the most shocking part is that I don't think anyone really expected.
Lehman Brothers had been looking for a buyer or government help. Neither one appeared over the weekend.
I never once considered that it was appropriate to put taxpayer money on the line in resolving Lehman Brothers.
The 158-year-old investment bank and 94-year-old Merrill Lynch weathered the Great Depression, but not the crisis of confidence that began with last summer's mortgage meltdown.
The American people can remain confident in the soundness and the resilience of our financial system.
Those assurances from Washington did not ease many fears.
Like that worry you?
Certainly does, especially for retirement.
But what's next? What other bank is going to close?
That worries you? Well, if it didn't, I'd be a crazy man.